When you're talking about health, there's just so many behavioral terms. Anyone studying for the exam, like, tune into this
Yeah.
and listen up.
It's behavior, bitches.
Hey, behavior bitches, besties. First of all, thank you so much for taking the time and stopping and watching all of our content on YouTube. We put a lot of effort into putting these podcasts into YouTube. That means I have to get dressed for the day, do my makeup, and actually show up when I used to come in looking completely homeless to record because no one could see my face. This being said, for us to keep doing this, we live for your subscription. So please do not forget to subscribe to our channel and like and leave us comments and love. Live for the love and keep tuning in, and you'll always know when our new episode drops. Love you, mean it. Hey guys, it's Liat. Welcome to today's episode of Behavior Bitches Podcast. I'm back, bitches, literally back from the dead. I was in the ER this past week twice, but I'm alive here, well, have my hands in multiple things right now going on. What have I been very busy with? Yesterday, I was dressed like a Victoria's Secret angel, kind of, but like one in like a nasty spandex outfit, all to promote our newest big project that we're working on here at Study Notes ABA. And it's Pair ABA, our new baby of helping set up BCBAs at clinics that they don't hate every second working at. So that has been a lot of effort and time going into that. And, I have the most fun with like all the marketing parts of it. So, like, I obviously have to dress like a Cupid, setting people up, doing all the. This is like, by the way, Studying Those ABA and Behavior Bitch is like the comedy show I always wanted. So I'm always doing a mix of that and just keeping my hands busy everywhere. So that's what's been going on here. But now getting into our show, let me tell you about our guest today. First of all, she's hot. I'll tell you that. So if you're not watching on YouTube, you should go watch our YouTube and subscribe. That's a good MO for you to do that. There you go. And please subscribe, leave a comment, review, the whole thing. All right. Today we have Brittany Duguay, who spells her name incorrectly. And she is I'm just kidding. I was like, Martha, Brittany spells her name incorrectly, right? She spells
That's
it
true.
uniquely, everyone. Okay,
Yeah.
here we go. So, Brittany is a board certified behavior analyst, a functional nutritionist, an IFBB bikini pro. Does this mean you do like bikini contest?
Yes.
That's hot.
Like bodybuilding. Yeah.
This adds up. Do you spray tan?
Before, yeah.
Like really dark?
Oh, yeah. Like super dark orange, like stains everything I touch. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I love spray tans. I have a spray tan machine in the office actually that Martha does for me. It looks made more sense to own
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
like the tent, the whole thing.
Yep. Love that.
Um, Great. So we have that in common. I mean, I don't do that dark color. It wouldn't work for me, but love a good spray tan.
Yeah. You'd probably look a little crazy walking around. Yeah.
Right. So that she's the founder of Better Habits, a coaching program that blends behavior science with health and wellness. She's on a mission to expand the application of applied behavior analysis beyond the clinic. Love that. Bringing it into fitness, food, stress management, and daily routines. Her work bridges the gap between traditional fitness coaching and behavior analysis, helping women move past perfectionism and build healthy habits that actually stick. Through high touch coaching and educating women on understanding their own behavior, Brittany is pioneering the conversation around using ABA principles in functional nutrition to create long term consistency in wellness. Isn't that the goal that we have maintenance over time?
Yeah.
When she's not coaching clients, you can find her starting new projects, lifting heavy things in the gym, or chasing after her daughter. Welcome to the show, Brittany.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm
Thanks
stoked
for
to have
having
you.
me.
How old is your daughter?
She's 8.
8.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So she's like my little bestie. She's my shadow everywhere I go. My
That's how
little
I am
wing.
with my son.
Yeah.
Like, he's my boyfriend. It's like I don't know. I mean, I'm divorced, so like it's like he's my man.
Yeah. He's like the man of the house.
Yeah. I like manifest him into the man that I want. And it's kind of like actually worked because I've started dating someone recently everyone, spill the tea, and I dress him. I was like, "I want a guy who, like, kinda wears this," and Kobe is that. Now I'll just dress the next Ken Barbie, you know?
Yeah,
But,
it's like a mirror image.
yeah, it's fun. So, before we get into today, we started this new thing on the show where we have the guest before ask a question, any question, to the next guest who's gonna be on, like, not knowing what it's gonna be about,
Oh, okay.
okay? The question I have for you today is this is from Katie O'Malley, who we had on the show. What's the best concert you've ever been to and why?
Okay, so this is funny because I am not a concert person. I do not like large crowds of people, but I did in 3rd grade, I went to a Spice Girls concert.
That was my first concert
No
also.
way. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was my dad, he's like a single dad, he brought me in to the Spice Girls concert, and it was just the highlight of my childhood.
that is so funny. I was telling
Like
someone about this the other day. I was like, "Where was I?" And I was like, that was when I thought my dad was, like, the absolute shit because me and my sister really wanted to go. We didn't have tickets. Everyone who's in anyone was going to the Spice Girls concert,
mhm,
right? And he's like, "You know what? I'm gonna take you girls. We're gonna go." So we go and, like, we, like, scalp tickets. It was, like, such a core memory that is just so funny, and I think they, like, did a tour this past year potentially.
really.
Yeah.
I'm not up to date on my Spice Girls, but I do think that it was when Ginger Spice was still part of the group
Well, I'm
when I
guessing, like,
went.
you were Baby Spice, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah, I was Baby Spice everything, like, I tried parsnips, I, like, made my dad I was like, "Dad, I need to eat parsnips," 'cause I read somewhere that they were Baby Spice's favorite food,
It was
and
like
I pretended
everyone
I
had
loved
to
them.
be one of them, like, you
Oh,
had to
yeah,
pick a character, like, I was Sporty Spice,
yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
and it was, like, who you looked most like or,
Yep,
like, that y like, it was just, like, automatically if you're blonde, you're Baby Spice.
exactly.
If you have brown hair that you might wear in a pony, you're Sporty Spice.
Yep, if you have red hair, you're Ginger.
And it was just so funny that it was, like, so automatic.
Yep,
But yep, okay, so how old are you?
I am 35.
Okay, so we're the same age, so this makes sense that we were doing the same things
Yeah.
in our life.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, 90s baby.
Yep, exactly. All right, now let's just get into a few other fun questions because I like getting to know people before we dig into anything a little more deep. And these fun, random questions are completely random. So here we go. What was your last Chat GPT prompt?
My last ChatGPT prompt was sending an email. I'm like, "Professionalize this for me, please." I do that all the time.
Love that. Interesting. I'm trying to think what mine was. I actually think mine, like I had, yeah, I think I had it fix something. Oh, then yesterday I used it as a diary. Kinda. I was like, "Ugh," I'm, like, stressed out, like, the person I'm dating lives over here and I live here, and, like, how could this dynamic be it's like also, if you use the voice feature,
Oh, I
like,
was gonna say, did you make it talk back to you?
mine sounds like some hot African American guy, he's like, "Yeah, that sounds pretty tough, Liat. Listen, there's multiple things you could be doing over here. You know, don't freak out. You don't have to figure it all out in one night. That's fine, you know? Things seem worse at night. Look, there's plenty of ways that you can make it work, even though both of you have kids." I'm like, "Thanks."
That is amazing. Mine sounds like an Australian woman.
I don't choose the voice
Yeah,
chose me.
it's the same. Yeah, I was on it. I was, like, talking back and forth with it one day, just, like, brain dumping and troubleshooting something, and my husband came in, he was like, "Who are you on a meeting with?" And I was like, "ChatGPT." Like, we're in a meeting.
The only thing is they're a little sensitive to, like, sound, so you really have to, like once you ask something, you literally have to, like, not breathe at all, like,
Yeah.
you ask a question and you're like,
Hold your breath.
"Mhm," and they'll be like, it's a little stressful, but anyways, very cool, and parenting hack I just wanna give out because I did this the other night as well. 2 things. I was with Kobe, he did not wanna go to bed, and he's like, "Ma, tell me a story." He's never asked that before. He's, like, into Peppa Pig. He's 4, like,
Oh.
I don't know, and I feel like maybe that's what he learned about us because he never wanted me to read him stories ever. So I'm like, "Okay, I'll tell you a story." So I think I'm telling, like, the most boring story of all time, like, how this train was built, like, going from this location to this, and the train just would run and run and run, and we were in Israel at the time, and he's like and I was like, "And my friend was the one driving the train." for years in this job, like trying to be as boring as possible. And he's like, your friend can't run the train. It's electric. Electric doesn't need anyone to run it. And I'm like, he's like talking back at everything. And I'm like, this is not the story I want. So then I'm like, all right, ChatGPT, write me the most possibly boring story that I could tell my child. And, and it was incredible. It told me exactly my tone of voice. It was called The Bedside Table. And it was like, use a monitor, and it knows I'm a BCBA. So it was like, you want to use this to have like, stimuli that are not reinforcing. So basically the story was like this. I'll tell you. It was like, there was a bedside table that lived next to the bed. So I like had this whole voice. The bedside table stayed where it was. The bedside table was in the same room as a rug. The rug was soft and cozy like a cloud. And just like that, the bedside table stayed. And I was like,
Was he
and
laughing?
no, like, so telling me this whole story, and it's like the reason why he told me these different things. And Kobe's like, Mom, that's weird. And I'm like, it was just like cracked me up that it like ChatGPT is just so wild what you can have it do, right?
Yeah. There are some things that are out there, but yeah, 100%.
And like as boring as I tried being, obviously I'm not boring enough, before this. So I needed the help.
I love that.
All right. Now let's do a little bit of this or that. Are you a sweet or a salty?
Sweet.
Sweet. Okay.
Love my sweets.
Text or call?
Typically text, but if I have something long to say, I like voice messaging. I'm like, here's my long podcast. Listen to me while I
we can't be friends. When someone sends that to me, and like if my phone doesn't do me the favor of transcribing, I'm like, yeah, no. Like I'm the worst.
Sometimes it's just you need to get a point across in a certain way that a text might not, get it.
Because not only like it's like I could look, but then I'm like locked in. Like I can't even like exit while I'm listening. That's the problem. So it's like now I can't do anything on my phone. I literally straight have to listen to the 2-minute voice note. So okay. Got it. Are you a online shopping or in-store?
Online, 100%.
Same. A lot of good sales going on right now with Black Friday, just saying. Aloe, 30% off.
Oh,
Not sure if you saw that.
I did not.
Morning or a night workout sesh?
Morning. I am like done. I am in bed. I want to be in bed at like 7:30. I do not want to I like to be cozy. I don't go to sleep at 7:30, but I'm done. I can't work out at
What are you
nighttime.
doing at 7:30?
Typically at 7:30, I'm usually getting my daughter ready for bed. And then after she goes to bed, I'm typically doing my nighttime routine. I got a quick routine down. And then I'm like, I am done. I'm going to bed. And sometimes I'll watch something on my phone for a little bit. But usually I'm just.
You watch on your phone, not on your.
I don't have a TV in my room. It's probably a good thing.
Yeah, no, it's actually probably a good thing. But that's how addicted I am to things. I'm like, my TV should be showing something, which I'm not even going to watch anyways, but I'll spend a lot of time choosing what I watch because I'm going to be on my phone.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
It's behavior, bitches.
Hey guys, I am here with Brian Stanton, who is running the Stone Soup Conference, which we've been attending at SNABA for the last, I want to say 3 years, maybe 4 years.
I think maybe almost since the beginning, maybe 4 years, since my beginning anyways.
Okay, so 4 years. Until recently, when I was speaking to Brian about coming back this year, I was asking him some questions about the conference and, the history and all the different things. And I was like, wait, did I miss this or did my dementia forget it? And we need the world to know about what this is all about. So, Brian, welcome. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Can you give us the soup starter? What is the Stone Soup Conference?
Okay, so the Stone Soup Conference it's a one-day virtual ABA conference. I've been doing it since 2020. Prior to that, it was an internal staff event. We're up in Canada, just outside of Toronto, and you couldn't get CEs back in the day. So they would fly in some expert and have him sit with the staff and train the staff because they wanted everybody to have access to the best, most current knowledge available in ABA. And in 2020, we took it virtual with the pandemic and turned it into a fundraising event. So the whole idea is bring a collection of speakers coming across different areas of expertise and have them share what they're working on with, it started out, as I said, with our staff, and now a global community of behavior analysts. We have people come from Ireland, Australia, and attend the conference. And we use it as a tool to raise money for something called ABA for All. That's really, it's a fundraising initiative to help reduce the costs to the families that we serve and increase the capacity to serve more individuals.
All right, if you're wanting to head on over to this conference and be there like I will be there, you need to use coupon code SNABA26 for $20 off the conference. $20 off CUs is a great thing. So check out the link in our show notes, use coupon code SNABA26, and I will see you there. Now let's get in to who you are. Okay, you're a BCBA, you're a bodybuilder, a nutritionist. How did you get started and end up where you are now?
Yeah. So it's interesting because I have been in the bodybuilding space before I was a BCBA. So I've been a BCBA for about 9 years now, but I've been in the bodybuilding world for about 14, 15 years. And so I was kind of just doing both, like simultaneously living two different lives, it felt like, because I was like, I found bodybuilding, I did my first competition, fell in love with it. And I just kind of kept going. It was my hobby. At the same time, I discovered the field of behavior analysis. And so I started working in a clinic and started going to grad school, did the whole thing, became a BCBA. And throughout that time, I had a lot of women come to me and want to be coached. They were like, can you help me with my nutrition? Can you help me lose weight? Can you help me do this or that? And I did it because it was fun for me. And I always kind of like had this little dream of doing some sort of fitness coaching and making it a career. And obviously, as a BCBA, we know everything is behavior, right? But
Right.
I was just like, well, there's no jobs for this. And so that's a big thing too. I feel like in the ABA world, we think kind of rigidly about what we can actually do in our field. So in my mind, I'm like, there's no jobs to be a fitness BCBA. So I'm just gonna like do my two things and make the best of it. So I did coach some women a little bit off and on until COVID happened. And so I was coaching during COVID because schools were shut down. Nothing was, going on as far as work for me. So I started doing some fitness coaching and I was using the same types of protocols that I was used to coaches using with me, right? Because I knew what got me in shape. I knew what would get other people in shape. But I was finding that there were so many women that just couldn't stick to it. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't stick to it? You like literally have all the time in the world right now. Like what what are you doing? And so I got frustrated because I'm like, well, maybe this isn't my jam. Maybe I just want to like do my own fitness and then be a BCBA. But I couldn't get away from it. I just kept having people because I was still in the space, right? And so I kept having people approach me and ask me for coaching until recently, like over the past like year or so, I had this aha moment that I was like, there is such a huge gap in the fitness world. And like, what am I doing? This is behavior change. And the reason that people can't stick to a freaking plan, it's not because they're unmotivated or lazy or, just making excuses. It's because they don't know how. Like, they don't have the skills to navigate all of like the barriers and everything that's in their life. So there's, things that are preventing them from being able to access whatever plan they're trying to do.
Wait, so you would have these people and be like, that's frustrating. Like, why can't you just like stick with it? Because your brain works like that?
Yeah, because I had been doing it for so long that I never stopped to like analyze my own behavior, right? I was just like going on autopilot and I had been doing it. Like it was just my lifestyle. I'm like, what do you mean you don't have time? Just get up earlier. Like, what do you mean you have kids? So do I. Like, but I figured out a way to make it work. And I just realized that a lot of people, like most people, don't have the skills to be able to look at their entire life and then be able to adjust it and maneuver things to make things like that happen. Or as women, because I only coach women, women have like very short capacity to do anything for themselves because we're doing everything for everyone else, being primary caregiver a lot of the time in our families and working and maintaining the house and all of the other things. And then you want me to stick to this nutrition plan? Like, I don't have the brain capacity for that. I just want to like zone out, you know? So there are a lot of things that get in the way, but I wasn't looking at that at the time. At the time, I was like, it's discipline, right? Like, it's just, you just got to be disciplined.
You're one of those. Okay. Yeah. So
I'm
I'm
not
on the other
anymore,
side.
but
Like,
I was.
no,
Yeah.
that makes sense. But first of all, by the way, anyone studying for the exam, the example she just gave when she's like, so like, I don't have time. And she's like, so just wake up an hour earlier. That is the approach of pragmatism. Like literally the most pragmatic. Like, oh, just wake up an hour earlier. Like, no shit. Like, you don't need to complicate it, right? But
Yeah.
by the way, that would just be looking at something in like a a void in itself to be like, okay, wake up earlier, right? There's obviously so many other variables to look at. But also what I think is happening here, when you have a behavior analytic brain, like to you, you could see like 50 other things you could be doing, right? You're like, okay, like you look at this barrier. First of all, antecedent, sleep in your freaking gym clothes.
Yes.
Number two, make sure your kid's already here, right?
Yep.
Like put the healthier food lower in your pantry, right? Like those are all behavioral like things that you're thinking of, but you kind of like, and to me it's obvious also, right? Because like
Yeah.
my brain thinks like that now. Like my brain doesn't think any other way. But you kind of forget that like someone else who is not seeing the world through a behavioral lens, like what you are offering them by saying those maybe to you like pragmatic approaches is like, oh my God, brilliant.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so it's crazy to you know, in my coaching sessions is where we work through some of those things and you see the light bulb go off. And part of my process too is I do have like some courses where people can actually learn some of like the very basic behavior analytic principles. And in my mind as a BCBA, we're like, I'm like, is this so obvious? Like, doesn't everybody know this? And people are like, my mind is blown. Like, I didn't know that this was reinforcement. And I didn't realize that that's why I sat on the couch and grabbed the bag of potato chips and scrolled for 3 hours after I got home from work. So it's really interesting to see the light bulb go off with people when it's just realizing that not everybody's brain works like ours do.
Well, I remember like even like being in like clients' homes in the beginning and being like, okay, like this is just like so obvious. Like I feel bad that like we're billing insurance for this. You know?
Yeah.
Like certain things like, oh, the kid cries every time, like for the iPad, make the iPad completely out of sight. That is not, like to me it was
Yeah.
like you don't need like but that's thinking like a behavior analyst. So
Exactly.
like and when you're not the one like emotionally or in the situation, let's say with a client or a kid, or you're not the one who is like struggling to get yourself in shape, it does take someone from the outside sometimes telling you these things. 'Cause I'll tell you, even
Mhm.
myself, like I know what to do to exercise, right? Like I know what I
Mhm.
need to do. I know what I like, but I don't care. I pay someone to literally tell me exactly what to do because I may know the things, what to do as a behaviorist. I know that I could sleep in my clothes. I know that I could have the workout things there ahead of time. But like if someone is not telling me and I do not have that accountability, I'm not doing it.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, and I hear that a lot too, is like, "Oh, I know what to do, I'm just not doing it." Like, I know like and the thing is that we overcomplicate it, right? Most of us know we should be drinking more water. We should be getting up from our desk and walking around a little bit more. We should be, you know, getting some sort of exercise in, depending on what that looks like for you, eating more veggies, like, it's really at its core is not that complicated, but we have so many other outside variables that impact our ability to make healthy decisions for ourselves, that it's not just about like knowing what to do, it's about how do you actually implement it and execute on it, you know, especially when the days are hard, right?
Yeah, in full. So how did you end up moving from clinic to full-time fitness coach?
So I started my Better Habits program, and primarily I just am an online presence. I don't do anything in person. And it really kind of just evolved naturally on its own, where I just started kind of doing it part time and just promoting this coaching business that I have, where I was just taking on people and using the principles of behavior analysis with coaching. But it's really interesting being in the online space in the Instagram, world, is that everybody's a fitness influencer right now. And so as a behavior analyst, it's so interesting and also challenging to differentiate yourself where there's so many fitness coaches, but there's not a lot of people that are really approaching it from a behavior analytic lens where we're looking at the whole person and their ability to execute on the behaviors that we're trying to get them to do, right? Versus like a traditional fitness coach is basically like, all right, here's your plan, here's your workout, here's your nutrition, go do it. Check in with me in a week and let me know how it went, and we'll adjust your food or your workouts if we need to. And that is the traditional coaching
Right,
model.
I
So
think, like, traditionally, they're looking more at, like, the topography of what you're doing, like, "Okay, you're gonna bend your arms this angle 10 times, and you're gonna do this
yeah,
10 times." But, like, I imagine, like, your superpower as a BCBA is you could go in and be like, "Let's look at the MOs here." Like, right? Like,
yeah,
you have 0 MO to actually make this change, right? Like, the way that your life is set up, or, you could make tweaks to the environment, I'm assuming, or different things like that, that someone who's not looking at, you know, the behaviors within and, like, within a larger environment are probably not thinking of.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. So they're telling you what to do. They're just not telling you, how do I do this? They're not taking into account life stressors, or, the fact that you have a younger child that didn't sleep well, or, sick dog that threw up all night. Like I found in my experiences, a lot of fitness coaches are like, well, that's that sucks. Try better next time, right? Instead of like, what do I do when this happens? Because a lot of people quit. A lot of people quit when things get harder. They don't come into contact with that reinforcement quickly. So it's also flipping people's mindsets and doing it a little bit backwards, where it shouldn't feel super hard for you. It should feel easy at first because, that's where we pull in shaping and all of those things.
Interesting. So, you're probably using a little bit of that, like, high P, low P as well, that
Yeah.
what for anyone studying that high P, that high probability request sequence, like, where it's like, "Hey, do a few of these easier things for me first before I have you, like, straight up doing, like, squat thrusts," or what's a
Yeah.
hard one? Like burpees. No
Yeah.
one wants to
Nobody
do
likes
that.
burpees.
Yeah. So it's like, do this first. Let's do this, like you do, like, 10, like, leg raises, this other thing, then we're gonna come with something harder. Like, all those little things that, like, and by the way, it's so funny, like, when I go into, like, a solid core, like, Pilates class, I'm thinking of these behavior things all the time. I'm like, "If they counted by 2s instead of counting by 1, like, it'd be so much more reinforcing," or,
Yeah.
like, anytime that they put the lights off at the or put the lights on at the end of the workout, 'cause, like, a dark workout room, I'm like, "Ugh, that's a CMOR, like, signaling things are about to get better, like, get me the fuck out of here."
Yeah.
Think of these
It's
different things.
you see it everywhere.
It's everywhere. So,
Yeah.
why do you think, just looking at it from a behavioral perspective, why do you think so many people get stuck in the diet and start over culture?
So, in my experience, I feel like the majority of people get stuck in like the diet and start over culture is because they're a lot of times they're going too hard too fast, right? Like they're doing this really they're starting these programs that have a really lot of response effort where they're not prepared for that, right? They don't have the prerequisite skills to maintain that long term. So they start with a lot of motivation, excitement, it feels really good, and then something comes up, or like, I snooze my alarm too many times, and then it feels punishing, right? So we don't keep going, or we're not seeing results fast enough, so we assume that it's not working, right? We're not accessing that reinforcement. It takes a lot of, you know undoing of that thought pattern, especially coming from like a diet culture where everything feels like, if it's not feeling hard and extreme, it's not working, right? Or if I'm not seeing results quickly, it's not working, so I'm going to stop. Or also really just not understanding data, right? So like if you have like 4 good days in a row where you're on plan and you're crushing it, and then maybe you mess up, maybe you go and you're like, man, I'm just going to have like 4 pieces of pizza tonight, and rather than saying, like, that's a data point, like what types of things are happening in that environment that caused me to make that decision, and then moving on, getting back on plan. A lot of times we spiral when that happens, and then it becomes one data point becomes two data points, and sooner or later we have a trend of making slip ups or not making good decisions for our plan, and we give up. And so then it takes like, all right, a lot of feeling like crap and a lot of punishment for us to then have the motivation to start something again.
That's really interesting because, I mean, I always say, like, I'm coaching people how to study for the exam. And a huge thing is, and by the way, like, I preach this, but I suck at it. I'm like, set yourself up for success with like reinforcement. Like, okay, you're like, I'm going to allow myself to have an ice cream after I read the entire non equivalence relation chapter in Cooper. Like, bro, that's like literally 9,000 pages. And like, for you to get there, like, that is a ratio strain, like, way too much effort for an ice cream, okay? Like, I'm saying set yourself up that, like, you're like, "I'm gonna read 3 pages, and I'm gonna read it really well and highlight them and take some notes, and then I'm gonna get whatever it is, or then I'm gonna go for a walk outside, or then I'm gonna watch the new season of Love Is Blind." But I think a lot of us, and I think especially, like, what's been conditioned over time, with exercise is numbers on a scale.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, and that could take more time, or it could be, like, maybe you're using the wrong measurement dimension. Like, maybe
Yeah.
you're weighing more, but now you have muscle, right?
Yeah. Yep,
So
100%. That happens all the time. And another thing too is we confuse the outcome with the behavior, and use that as a measure of success versus looking at the behaviors that are going to get you to that outcome, right? So instead of saying like, I want to lose 5 pounds, right? It's like, okay, what do you have to do to get there? What daily habits do you have to do to get there? Because we don't lose 5 pounds overnight. So the reinforcement is delayed. So it makes it, those contingencies are just harder. So I try to coach my clients into really focusing on what can you control today. You can't control the scale, but you can control your behavior.
right. Interesting.
It's behavior, bitches.
Hey guys, it's your favorite bitch, Liat here. Are you stressing about taking the BCBA or BCABA exam? Feeling like you don't know where to start? You got into this field, you're worried your program didn't prepare you so much, you're wondering how you're going to get through grad school, then let alone take this test? Well, let me take that stress on for you. Over here at Study Notes ABA, this is what we do. We eat, breathe, sleep, thinking about the BCBA exam. I've been carrying around my Cooper book for the last 8 years so that you can chill. If you're getting ready to study and wondering what you could be doing, sign up for our live collective. It's 12 weeks, which is done over 24 classes. We meet twice a week. It's taught from actual BCBAs who have been there in your shoes studying for the exam. We make everything relatable, funny. You are actually going to enjoy the study process. And hold me to that. If you're not enjoying it, let me know. I'll be shocked. You get a study group, people who are studying the exact same thing, shared adversity. We could ask all your questions, and we take all the notes with you. You are going to have the most beautiful doodles by the end, and your Cooper book will seem way less scary. Are you worried about payment plans? We've got that too. We get what it's like being an RBT in the field. So stop stressing, start getting ready to pass the test, and go to studynotesaba.com/collectives, and we have it all there laid out beautifully for you. What are some common behavior traps people fall into when trying to lose weight or get healthy?
So I would say like the whole thing we just chatted about, right? Like first of all, starting on a Monday, starting on a new year, new month, whatever. That is a behavior trap. Like for some reason in our brain we've paired those two things together where it's like I can only start this on the first of the month or like whatever it
Like,
is.
everything shitty has to be on a Monday.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, all right, I'm just gonna, let myself go all weekend, and then Monday I'll reel it in, right? That is one thing that I see trip people up all of the time. Other things are really going too fast too soon, or setting your expectation too high when again you do not have the prerequisite skills to be able to do that and to be able to maintain it long term. And also resiliency is like a really big one, where if you don't know how to bounce back when life happens, that sets people up to spiral quite a bit.
That makes a lot of sense. I am that person, by the way. Like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm motivated today. By the way, like, I'm like, I'll be in the ER the day before, and then like I feel good the next day, and like my like health is like so with like my autoimmune stuff that I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go. Like, let's run a marathon today. And then it's like I literally will like obviously be dead after, and then it's like now I'm not doing anything for the next 2 months.
Yeah, and then it sets you up for failure, right? Because you've put too much on your body to be able to withstand that, instead of like easing into it and also giving yourself
I'm
grace when
impulsive.
you're
I want it now.
yeah,
Like I want to do it now. You know, like
yeah.
it's something that I definitely struggle with. This brings me to, as a BCBA, data. Are you tracking data for your clients? Is that like part of your program?
Yeah, I track it in a few different ways, and it really is client specific. So, depending on what their unique goals are, I use like an app system for them so that they can actually self monitor and track their own data, and I can kind of go in and look at their trends. So, I'm looking at their weight, their measurements. I'm also using pictures to do like a visual analysis of how is their body changing, because that's a big one. Because, like you said, you might be looking better because you're gaining muscle, but the scale's not moving. And that, for some reason, gets in women's head so badly. Like, we just let the scale dictate our whole day, which is, I get so many texts where I'm like, my weight's up today. And I'm like, okay, but look at your pictures. You look so much better. You look less inflamed, like all of this stuff. And, you know, they want to look strong. So, um, other things that we do is just, consistency over time with like their own personal habits. So, drinking water, getting their steps in. Technology is amazing right now because we're able to sync like your steps, either like, your Apple Watch or your Fitbit or your Aura Ring, whatever it is, all those things can sync. So, those wearables are really nice to just help inform some data
I
already with
realize like I
no
wear the
effort.
Aura Ring. I don't check jack shit on it. I just wear it.
I love my Aura Ring. It's
Like,
so
what are
they're
you
like
checking
15
on it?
bucks.
What are you
Um,
checking on it?
I usually look at it primarily for my sleep score.
Oh, me too. It's like that.
Yeah, but I like to see, like, what time did I know I slept shitty, like, what time did I sleep shitty? I wanna know why. I also like to I use my, Oura Ring to track my steps, and I also use it for, like, cycle tracking as well, because
I
I feel like that's
actually
pretty
just started
accurate.
that like the last month because I realized I'm like, I have an IUD. I literally, anytime I go to, I'm in the doctors a lot, like with all my health issues. Like, when was your last menstrual cycle? I'm like literally,
Yeah.
I don't know if it was 3 years ago or like 3 days ago. So like, I have no track of time. So I was like, I'm gonna put it in here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all in one spot. There's, like, a really cool feature on it now too where you can I haven't actually played with it, but you can like scan your food, and it will tell you like based on what you're inputting, like you can like take a picture, I think, of your food, and it will
Oh,
scan it,
cool.
and then it
They
will be
put
like,
like,
now you should eat this thing next.
oh wow, they put like multiple apps together.
Yeah.
Like daily, what was that? There was one a while ago, like the daily food. What was that? It was like one of the first like food tracking ones.
Like
And
MyFitnessPal or
yeah, that was like
yeah.
a while ago. I remember.
Yeah. I don't know how accurate it is, right? Because I don't know how the picture would do, but and they also have like a glucose monitor feature now. I love my Oura Ring.
How's it doing that though? Isn't that like by like pricking you?
Yeah, you wear like a continuous glucose monitor. And so usually you'd have to have like a separate app for that, and now it's all in one.
Is the average person using that, or only if they are like diabetic?
So you can use it obviously for diabetes, but other people do it to just make sure that some people do it for like I've used it for like a time sample. Right, just to see like what is my blood sugar doing throughout the day. It will give me data on when I eat this, what happens to my blood sugar. So it's like a proactive way to like measure what you're putting in your body and your glucose levels. And then you have like crazy people like biohackers who like they'll wear them all the time and all that stuff. Which is
Oh,
really interesting stuff to me, but yeah.
oh yeah, like that one documentary on Netflix. That guy who wants to like live forever.
No, I didn't see that, but
Wait,
now I
what?
need to watch
Did
it.
you see it, Martha? He, like, literally, like, does everything, and then tracking it was, like it's crazy, like, these people
Wild.
it's
Yeah,
it's
there's some
wild.
real weird stuff.
So being that you're coming from it from a behavioral perspective, obviously there's tons of you as you said before, these fitness influencers on there. What is something that, like, drives you crazy that you see these other non-BCBA or behavioral lens fitness influencers doing?
I have so many, and the thing is, I
Like,
look
what's
back
the
and I'm like,
ick? What's the ick?
ugh, the discipline. You just need to be disciplined. And, like, listen, coming from somebody like I am a disciplined person, but discipline is a skill. And so when people say, like, "You just gotta be more disciplined," and especially, like, working with kids with disabilities and having that background is like, if you have a skill deficit, you can't just go and tell a kid, like, "Just talk." Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can teach it and you can shape it. So that one kills me.
Also, that's such
Um,
a mentalism. That's, like,
yeah,
not even behavior at all, right? It's like, "Oh, they don't do this because 'cause they're not disciplined," or, "They're not disciplined, so they don't do this," which just leads to that circular reasoning.
yeah, exactly. So that one's a really big one. Another thing too is hearing people say, like, "No excuses." Like, there are so many reasons that someone might have excuses. Like, and depending on what your goals are, obviously getting on stage for a bodybuilding competition is a very extreme goal, and it does take an extreme level of adherence to a plan. But the most people are not doing that. And so when you tell people that there's no room for excuses or that they just need to be more disciplined, those are things, getting a little mentalistic, like those are things that people then will feel bad about themselves for. And we have to do it with a lot of my clients, like, oh, I'm just lazy, I just don't have any willpower, I'm just not disciplined, and it feels defeating. And so when we talk about, like, these are all things that you can learn how to do. It's like you're not born being disciplined, or it's not like a switch that you just flip, right? It becomes it's just more empowering because then you can learn to control your own behavior.
Right, and I think just, like, hearing that just from as, like, a VCBA, I'm like, "Okay, operationally defined disciplined," right?
Yeah.
Like, so you're saying disciplined as a whole or, like, what are like, I mean, discipline could be someone who drinks 8 ounces of water first thing in the morning before they drink their coffee. Discipline could be right? So kinda, like, breaking that down, I would imagine, as opposed to just being, like, the entire concept of disciplined, because now you're like, "Oh, I guess I'm not." Like, I ate a jelly bean when I was supposed to be dieting, so, like, now I quit. And that's, by
Yeah.
the way, how I work. I'm like, "I better just eat the whole container of Ben& Jerry's because, like,
Yeah.
it's here."
You're like, there's only half of it left anyway.
Yeah,
Might as well
and, like, I don't wanna have it here, so, like
better get rid of it.
okay, I like to keep it real, raw, and relatable here on the show, always, and that's just, like, what we do here.
Love
So,
it.
what is a personal habit that you still struggle with?
So lately, I have been horrible at feeding myself. I posted a gym selfie the other day, and my one of my friends was like, "Or did you start a new training program?" And I was like, "No, I just started remembering to eat lunch." And which is, I used to be like that person that was like every 2.5 to 3 hours, I was eating like my chicken and
Clockwork?
my rice and my broccoli. Yeah, like clockwork. Like every 3 hours was eating a meal out of my Tupperware wherever I was. Um, and now I'm like working from home and I'm doing things and I'm like, oh my God, it's 3 o'clock and I've only had coffee since breakfast. Like, and so I'm remembering that I need to take my own advice and I need to start my own meal prepping and eating and setting my timers to remember. So that is something recently that I've drifted with my own plan, but it really does make an impact in how you're looking and feeling when you properly nourish yourself and take breaks.
It's so true. That's also just, like even, like, I get, like, migraines, like, really bad, and sometimes they can be so bad that, like, I need to go to the ER. I mean, everything with my lupus is worse, right? But, like, whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Do you drink water?" I'm like, "No." Like, who the fuck has time to, like, stop and, like, drink
You're like, "Can I just
water?
have an IV, please?"
Like, that's that's exactly how I work, right? And I'm like, these things that should be so simple, It's crazy that like it's but like it's also like I think it's just like kind of the way the world is now. Like
Yeah.
when I was wearing an Apple Watch before and it told me to breathe, I was like offended. I was like, "Do you think I have fucking time to breathe right now? Like I'm mid like teaching a class. Like fuck off. Do you mind? I'm like mid Instagram scrolling. I don't have time to like sit here and breathe."
I don't yeah. That's amazing.
All right. So for this is my final thing for you. For all the ABA nerds listening, what advice can you give for anyone listening how you can hack your own health habits?
I would say that you got to take a step back and first analyze your own behavior, right? Like you have to audit where are you spending your time? What are your pain points? And then from there, what is the easiest low-hanging fruit that you can start to make changes on? Use shaping. Shaping is like a game changer when it comes to health habits because and if you set out a roadmap for yourself, right? Like task analyze it, right? Or whatever you need to do to get yourself to that end goal. But starting small, analyzing your own behavior patterns, and then being systematic about implementing things over time rather than falling into the mentality of the rest of the world, which is kind of like an all or nothing approach.
I love that. And for anyone studying, can you explain what shaping is?
Yeah. Like I haven't opened my Cooper book in a hot minute, but basically
Don't
successive
worry, I'm
approx
not judging. I haven't opened mine either in the last like 10 minutes.
I know. I'm like, I'm so intimidated coming on here because I'm like, she knows every term that ever existed
It's okay. I
in
know
Cooper.
nothing about exercise terms, so like bullshit me all you want.
Yeah. It's like, successive approximations toward an end goal, right? So tiny little baby steps toward an end goal behavior that you would like to be able to accomplish or complete.
Beautiful. Now to test you, give an example of what this might look like.
Well, if you want to have a goal of drinking 100 ounces of water a day, and currently your baseline is 20 ounces, I would say bump it up to make your goal 30 ounces. And then once you're able to do that, bump it up to 40 ounces or 45 or whatever feels doable and comfortable. I like doing that with water specifically because water is hard for people to drink. And also your body has to adapt because you're peeing all the time. So,
Good job. You passed my test. I know
yay.
it's so funny whenever I ask because whenever I ask someone a question, like anything that's like the basic behavioral terms, by the way, anyone like if you're like a BCBA, you're probably not using all the terms all the time. The amount I mean, I've been like studying for the test for the last 9 years or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But everyone's like, "Please don't ask me. Please don't ask me. Please don't ask me." And I'm like, "Wait, am I like intimidating around this stuff?" Like, I don't mean to be. But like you got it right. You know your shit. You're doing great.
Great. I'm like,
Did she
wait, maybe
freeze?
I'm not a BCBA anymore. I forgot all of my Cooper terms. Like,
All right. Well, Brittany, thank you so much for coming on today. I think this is like, first of all, there's so many, when you're talking about health, there's just so many behavioral terms. Anyone studying for the exam, like tune into this
yeah.
and listen up. Brittany, what do you offer and where can people find you?
Yeah. So I spend a lot of time on Instagram. So I'm on Instagram at Better Habits by Brit with 2 T's. And my website is betterhabitsbybrit.com. And I offer one-to-one coaching. It's a 16-week program that really helps you kind of figure out what method is going to work for you so that you can stop starting over, find something that actually you can stick to, and make changes to your health overall for the better. So that is my one-to-one coaching. And yeah, that's
So
I'm so
what is
excited to
that?
have been
By
here.
the way, does that look like? Like, are you like going to be on with someone, like telling them what workout to do?
Yeah, so they get a customized nutrition and workout program. You get access to my Better Habits Academy modules, which basically takes behavior analytic terms, smushes it together with fitness, so you can kind of understand your own health and fitness behaviors or tendencies. And then you get one-on-one coaching with me where we're talking throughout the week if you're running into issues or if I've need to talk people off a ledge or we're dealing with functional health issues. And then we do our coaching sessions where we're meeting face to face and talking about everything from periods to sleep to workouts to how to get your laundry folded in an efficient way so that you have time to work out.
I love that, actually. That's all the things. That's
Yeah.
amazing. All right, Brittany, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so fun to be here.
Of course, everyone, you'll know where you can find Brittany. It's all going to be in the show notes. So just head over there and go follow her on Instagram. I just added you while I was sitting here, by the way, on my iPad. So,
Amazing.
well, I'm following you on my personal account now. I think we're already following you on Behavior Bitches. So
Love it.
now you
Yeah.
got 2 followers. All
Love
right.
it. Exclusive.
You guys know where you could find us. You could find us on YouTube, Behavior Bitches Podcast. Please go subscribe. We're really trying to grow it. You could go leave me a 5-star review on the Apple Podcast app or wherever you listen. On Spotify, too, you can write comments on episodes, which is very exciting. You go to our website, behaviorbitches.com. If you have a guest or you are the guest or you want to tell us something and we need to have you on, please write to us. We read those emails all the time. And with that, that's all we have for you today. So as always, love you. Mean it.
Behave your bitches.